Well, hello. My name's Andrew Barnes, and I have the Busy Bee and the Fizzy Bee here in York. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about playing with knives, fire, and food, which is what I do. I spend a lot of time playing, really. That's what I do for a living. I take ordinary things and turn them into extraordinary things. It's actually a lot easier than you think. There's not a lot. It's hard for me to explain it because I can't really explain how I do things because I just do them. I just open up and let creativity flow and let it go. What you're seeing here, these are all series of pictures. Some of them relate to food. Some of them are just pictures, things I like to take pictures of. Usually it's tiny little things because without my eyes in, that's all I can see. I have a very bad focal range. It's tricky because there's so much stress and it's such a crazy environment, the kitchen, a professional kitchen, because I don't know how many of you have ever actually been in one and worked in them. But it's constant stress, it's constant, you got to do everything as best as you can, as fast as you can. And there's really no room for error because if you screw up, you can kill people. And that's not good because, if you kill a customer, they don't come back. So it's, and doing it right, it has to be done right. I had an instance today, as a matter of fact, where I actually had to fire somebody. It's a guy that hasn't been with us very long, and I took a chance on him. I talked to him, and I got a feeling that he might actually be worth the effort. Turns out I was wrong. Happens a lot. He was eager, but he did not have the discipline, and that is a big part of cooking is discipline. You have to plan and organize, and you have to have your day done in such a way that by the time that it's ready to go, everything has to be perfect. And it's got to look pretty because, honestly, everybody eats with their eyes first before they do anything else. So if it looks good, that gives you a better inclination of that it's going to taste good. If it looks like crap and it tastes good, it still might be crap in your mind because you have that initial, initial thought that, this looks like a plate of crap. So it's going to taste bad. So it's, a lot of it's practice and rote, doing the same thing time after time after time after time until you know how to do it with your eyes closed and really in your sleep. Up here, this is actually where we got our name. Because it's this whole thing is really an homage to my grandfather, who was a wonderful man, taught me lots about life, the universe, and everything. And most of it I didn't want to hear because it was not what I wanted to hear at the time. But it turned out that it was what I needed to hear. He instilled in me a lot of really good values. First and foremost, be proud of what you do. Know that you're good at it and you can further yourself. You can better yourself by bettering the lives of others around you. It's so weird for me to be acknowledged, if you will, for what I do because I really don't think it's anything special because it just comes naturally. And it's so weird. Well, this next slide coming up will give an idea about what's going on, because that is where it all started. I started at the Omega Institute up in Rhinebeck, New York. I spent a summer up there. It's a holistic learning and healing center. And that's where I learned that if you cook and you cook well, you can go anywhere you want, because people always will eat. They like good food, and frankly, they're willing to pay for it. So that's really what, if you'll pardon the expression, lit the fire under my ass to start cooking. When I came back to town after being at the Omega Institute, I couldn't find a job. Could not for the life of me. Now, I was living in Dover. I had no car. I had no, and back then, the transit system was not so good. I could either leave at 6 in the morning or like 4 in the afternoon to get into town. So the only place I could get a job was actually at Hardee's. And as I was walking out of the door to go to Hardee's training school, because believe it or not, you actually have to be trained at a school to work at Hardee's, I got a call from the chef at the Yorktown, and he offered me a job in the pantry, which I thought was stocking shelves, because that's how little I actually knew about food. Fast forward to 3 years later, I was actually running the kitchen and one of 1,100 chefs in the country, because I was running a 4 and 3 diamond restaurant off of the same line. So it's crazy. And half of these things have absolutely nothing to do with food, but that's my other passion, is photography. I love to take pictures of things that I find beautiful. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. There's not a lot more to say than that. So I thank you for your time.